Well, hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Movie Community College. It's your friend, the professor. How are you? I understand that India is going to be extended into lockdown. So sorry to hear that. Got a video here from Sid. If you ask Sid where is he from, he would tell you Bombay, which is awesome. It's like old school Indian. He lives in Washington D.C. and we're going to be producing a radio show for him on darkskyradio.com. And he's got a video here, an interview, where he's going to talk about the attack on Gurdwara in Kabul, and he's shaming Hindus and Sikhs who oppose the CAA. Let's take a look at it.
A child has been taken away against her will in 21st century in broad daylight, and we are ready to live with it. It is the response of the entire global Sikh and Hindu community. We are ready to live with it. Shame on all of us. See how dangerous times we are living in. It could be anybody's girl now. These 5 million Hindus and Sikhs who are trapped in Pakistan. Now you must know, if they can do this to the daughter of the head Granthi, who gets so much media attention, what would they be doing to a poor, penniless Hindu laborer in Sindh? They would be treating them like dead meat, not even treating them like an animal. I mean, treating them subhuman. This whole thing about the Pakistani Hindus and Sikhs has been erased from the consciousness of the Hindu leadership and the Hindu society in general, and of course the global community. Global community doesn't care as long as the Hindu community itself doesn't care. It's mind-boggling that such a huge scale of genocide has not been addressed, and even more baffling is that when it is addressed by a very compassionate move, it's resisted by Hindus and Sikhs sitting in Bharat and abroad for the weirdest reasons. It's really scary to coexist with such human beings who are so selfish, who are so depleted intellectually and morally bankrupt. Importance of CAA dawns upon us when 25 human beings have been killed. So we needed these 25 dead bodies to show us how important CAA was. Punjab Assembly passed a resolution against CAA. Now somebody go and ask Amrinder Singh, on whose hand is the murder of these 25 Sikhs? The Akali Dal is saying include Muslims in the CAA. Now somebody go and ask these Akali Dal yo-yos, on whose head is the murder of these 25 Sikhs?
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Indus Lens Show. So, in our show today, we have Dr. Omendra Ratnu from Bharat in Rajasthan State, and he's the founder of Nimit Ekam. The Nimit Ekam organization is very instrumental, and they help like Hindu and Sikh refugees from Pakistan and other parts of the world. And today, we are going to talk about the recent massacre of Sikhs that happened in Afghanistan, the unfortunate attack that happened in Afghanistan. So, Dr. Omi, welcome to the show.
Namaste, bhai.
Namaste. So, Dr. Omi, as I said, you work very closely with the Sikh community and helping the refugees in India. And when they come to India, you guys in Nimit Ekam, you guys help them. Okay, so Dr. Omi, can you tell us about like what does Nimit Ekam do and help? How do you help to Hindus and Sikh refugees?
Thanks, Deepen. We are mainly into Pakistani Hindu Sikh migrants coming to Jodhpur. So we have an office in Jodhpur where 3 people are employed by Nimit Ekam, and we have an office in Jaipur with 3 other people. All 6 of them are Pakistani Hindu refugees who came at varying time intervals. We are mainly into documenting the number of refugees coming into Bharat and helping them getting registered with the local police and the FRRO office, putting their papers in order so that the Ministry of Home Affairs can scrutinize and the citizenship process can be streamlined. In the past 5 years, Nimit Ekam has managed to get 1,800 citizenships on its own. Close to 10,000 Pakistani Hindus have come to Bharat because of us.
Okay.
So that's our thing. That's what we can do. See, this whole thing about the Pakistani Hindus and Sikhs has been erased from the consciousness of the Hindu leadership and the Hindu society in general, and of course the global community. Global community doesn't care as long as the Hindu community itself doesn't care.
Correct.
So it is mind-boggling that such a huge scale of genocide has not been addressed. And even more baffling is that when it is addressed by a very compassionate move by this wonderful man Narendra Modi and Amit Shah, it's resisted by Hindus and Sikhs sitting in Bharat and abroad for the weirdest reasons. It's really scary to coexist with such such human beings who are so selfish,
Selfish.
who are so depleted intellectually and morally bankrupt as to have an opinion on a law drafted legally by the Indian Parliament, and they are aligning with the darkest of forces to oppose this. It's mind-boggling that
And
Citizenship Amendment Act, which is such a compassionate piece of legislation, and and I know it how much homework has gone into this act, how much hard work has gone into the drafting and the passage of this act. But our own people have joined hands with the perpetrators of this crime.
Mhm.
We live in very strange times, Deepen.
Right. Right. So when this the massacre of that happened in Gurdwara 2 days back in Afghanistan, that's where it became the world level news because there were 25 Sikhs were killed over there, including 11 kids, if I'm not wrong. And this is what happened as a terrorist attack. But there is this persecution is ongoing. It is not limited to that attack, right? I'm pretty sure you deal with a lot of Sikh migrants in India, and you hear their horrible stories, what they go through. So, what do you think this how this should be dealt with, and especially like what stories do you hear about the persecution of the Sikhs, especially?
Okay, in August 2019, Jagjit Kaur, the daughter of the head Granthi of Nankana Sahib near Lahore, which is the holiest place for us as
Yeah,
far as Sikhism goes.
yeah,
Because I consider myself a Sikh, and I consider every Sikh as a Hindu. That's
yes,
an interchangeable nomenclature for me. So Jagjit Kaur is picked up from her home in full view of the world. There are enough videos of the child getting converted to Islam on YouTube and every social media platform. Till date, March is ending, and for the last 8 months, that child has not been recovered in spite of all the global pressure by the Indian and the Sikh community globally. One child of the head Granthi, she has been converted to Aisha. She has been married to a jihadi. Most likely, she will give birth to one of his children, and then she'll be gone forever. Now,
correct.
the interesting thing here is if Indian foreign ministry and the Hindu leadership in general had some guts, this issue should have been picked up vociferously globally.
Globally, yes,
Because what happened was, there's an interesting twist in this. Initially, the state of Pakistan relented due to the global Sikh pressure.
hmm
And they said that we will return the girl. The governor of the state of Punjab, I'm forgetting his name, is on camera. I have that video with me. If you want, I can share it with you. Is on camera saying that the girl will be returned. Now, there are two issues here. The number one issue, the plea of the jihadis was that the girl has converted on her own free will.
yes,
If that be the case, then how is the governor interfering and like he is middlemaning the whole thing, like it is done with professional criminals, that we will return the girl in lieu of some ransom or some
right,
international
right.
pressure or whatever. That's one
hmm
thing. So the state of Pakistan was a accomplice in this. That's one thing that you need to be very sure. Second is the response of the entire global Sikh and Hindu community. We are ready to live with it. Shame on all of us. A child has been taken away against her will in 21st century in broad daylight, and we are ready to live with it. See how dangerous times we are living in. It could be anybody's girl now. These 5 million Hindus and Sikhs who are trapped in Pakistan, now you must know, if they can do this to the daughter of the head Granthi who gets so much media attention, what would they be doing to a poor penniless Hindu laborer in Sindh?
Yes.
They would be treating them like dead meat, not even treating them like an animal. I mean, treating them subhuman,
Yeah.
These are the two messages that, to me, it was very disappointing that this child could not be recovered. But the bigger disappointment, as always, and I'll hold this grudge, against this whole humanity, so-called civilized world, that Citizenship Amendment Act was resisted by people who claim to be liberals and intellectuals and humanitarians.
Yeah.
People like Tavleen Singh, all these journalists whom I used to read, and I used to respect them a lot earlier.
Right.
But the opposition to CAA showed me that how hollow our intellect is, how bankrupt we are, that we can't see the pain of these people, these innocent victims of time.
Right. And also while there was opposition to CAA globally, especially in US, Canada, we saw there was a big chunk of Sikh community that was a part of it, which obviously are Khalistani supporters.
Shame on them. Shame on all of them.
Probably that made me think, like, they call themselves Sikh, but they are not really concerned about the Sikhs who are daily being persecuted in this country.
You see this, 25 human beings murdered because they don't belong to the faith of the murderers. But I mean, this world is worrying about coronavirus. This is the bigger virus. 25 human beings lost their lives. They were shot like chicken for no fault of theirs. And this is precisely the reason why CAA was brought.
Yes.
Now the head Granthi of Kabul somewhere has already said that now we are thinking of shifting to India.
Yeah.
Wow, welcome. Where were you up till now? Where I mean, are you guys dumb, blind, or deaf? 1400 years of conflict has not taught you that you can't coexist? Is Narendra Modi out of his mind to draft a law? It's such a shocking reality that the importance of CAA dawns upon us when 25 human beings have been killed. So we needed these 25 dead bodies to show us how important CAA was.
Right. It's a shame. Yeah, it's
live with these infantiles. Yeah, that's the way it is. And you know one thing, the next day on the funeral, when 25 bodies were being taken, it's a ghastly sight. You should see this on the YouTube. They again attacked them, and a child was again injured.
This is something that is an ongoing situation for years and years, and still it's mind-boggling how people turn a blind eye. Globally, they turn a blind eye, and here, especially in the United States, there are politicians backed by jihadi organizations. They are bringing up bills and resolution to oppose CAA. That is happening in India, having no clue and no idea what is happening to these minorities, the dharmic minorities in these countries.
Yeah, we need to have our own central funding, which I always talk about. That's dharmansh. You see, these are all. It's not without reason that these people are called prostitutes. Everything is available for purchase as long as they are able to purchase the journalists. They will get the narrative. They will kill us, and they will also take the narrative. The day we have enough dharmansh, we will have the narrative, and the world will know that we are the sufferers of the worst, the longest, the most violent genocide mankind has ever faced.
Yes.
50,000 refugees living in Jodhpur, 10,000 living in Jaipur. Come and meet them. Every refugee has a different story to tell, some new innovative way of torturing them. 3 Hindu Sikh girls being kidnapped every single day as we eat, drink, and make merry. The curse of these girls will not, the corona is nothing.
Well, I'm not sure what happened there. Um, sorry, I'm taken back there. I'm taken back for a loss. I think Sid does a great job with the interviews. He does a great job just kind of opening up the topic and letting the guests talk about it. And he brought up a lot of good points. And I do think one of the things that I think our history, and I mean the history of world history, does not do an accurate job is reporting on the loss that India has had. I mean, one of the stats I always go back to is World War II. You know, we think of Adolf Hitler and the Jews, where 6 million Jews were killed, which is terrible. But then we really don't talk about the Russians, how 60 million Russians have died. But then we really never talk about the Indians, how 300 million Indians died underneath British rule. That's a lot. I think India is probably the most persecuted nation in the history of the earth, where if you're talking about pure number of fatalities. Pretty sad, pretty terrible things. So, very good. You can go check out his YouTube page. I got a link down there. That is Indus Lens, and Sid's a good guy. Make sure you go and you like and subscribe to his channel, and you check out more videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace and much love.
नमस्ते दोस्तों, अगर आप ये सोच रहे होंगे कि प्रोफेसर के शो में मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ और मैं कौन हूँ, तो मैं आपको बता दूं, मैं वही हूँ जिसके बारे में प्रोफेसर ने आपसे कई बार बात की है और मेरे बारे में बताया है। जी हाँ, मैं उनका बहुत अच्छा मित्र, बहुत अच्छा दोस्त हूँ और मुझे लोग सिड के नाम से जानते हैं। और मैं एक इंडियन अमेरिकन हूँ। हम यहाँ पर प्रो इंडिया, प्रो भारत, प्रो हिंदू कॉजेस के लिए काम करते हैं, चाहे हिंदुस्तान में हो या अमेरिका में। और हमारा खुद का एक चैनल है इंडस लेंस, तो आप उसके लिए प्लीज़ 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 हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल इंडस लेंस को सब्सक्राइब करें। और जैसे प्रोफेसर ने आपको बताया, मैंने और उनके साथ पहले कोई रेडियो शोज किए हैं। अब हम फिर से जो इंडस लेंस के इंटरव्यूज़ और रिव्यूज़ हम करते हैं, जो प्रो इंडिया प्रो हिंदू इश्यूज़ पर, हम वो darkskyradio.com पर फीचर करने जा रहे हैं। तो आप ज़रूर सब्सक्राइब करें हमारे इंडसलैंड यूट्यूब चैनल को, और ज़रूर हमारे रेडियो शोज़ को darkskyradio.com पर ज़रूर सुनिए। नमस्ते, जय हिंद।